my business partner, Eugene Botha. He's really passionate about employment. He wants, in 50 years' time, to have a country where we know that there's not 25% unemployment. There's single-digit unemployment. And I know that's a big dream, but, if there aren't any big dreams, what are there? Nothing gets achieved by people dreaming small. And what drives me is ideas of equality and transformation. So seeing a country that is economically and socially transformed to represent the people in it, and also from a gender perspective. I'm an ideator. I did a brief stint in marketing, and I like coming up with catchy names for things. But I racked my brain. I wanted something that said legal and it said innovation at the same time, that really encapsulated who we are. And I was brainstorming with many people, and then, as most good ideas come, I woke up one morning, half asleep, half awake, and just thought of the word novation, which of course is a legal term. Where you replace a new contract or obligation with an old obligation with a new obligation. And I thought to myself, there has to be an English meaning for this. So I went and searched the word novation, then I searched the word novate, and I found the meaning to replace something old with something new, where that something old no longer serves its purpose. And it was kind of my nudge to old law firms to say, look, we're coming for you. Because I think law is, they say, the second oldest profession, but it's also the slowest to innovate, and we need people to have fresh ideas about how do we provide legal services in a way that's affordable and understandable. Do we need to give people a stack of documents like this that they don't understand? Is the billable hour the most efficient way to provide those services? And I've always felt that that's not the case, but I'd never stopped to think, how do I make it different? And that's what Novate was about. We want to get people, when they're starting out, like get in on the elevator early, And because we have basic products and we have products that build up. So we have our Nova, and we have our Nova plus debt collection, and we have an in-house legal. So one of the clients that we wanted to visit today, they're a bigger client. They're a family-owned business, but they're still owner-managed, So small business we cater right across the board. And what we hope to do is hold your hand through the process. So we're not interested right now at pitching where all other law firms are pitching, like I want, big bank panel work, or I want all JSE companies. I'm trying to create JSE companies. So it's like my business partner's dream to take people to listing, if that's what you want. So one of the first things we ask that other law firms don't ask is, what is your dream? So we do our assessment and we say, where do you want this business to go? Do you want a nice nest egg? How big do you want it to get? How many employees do you want? What is the dream? And then we structure your business to get you there. And hopefully we build such a relationship that will always be with you in that process. First time we meet with a client, we don't charge them for a first interaction because we just need to understand their business. So we do what we call a legal diagnosis tool or legal survey, and we go through step by step in the order of risk management that we think is most important, what they have in their business or not. So we build a tailored product for them. Simple, plain language, as thin documents as possible. We don't pretend we don't use templates. Every law firm uses templates. Pull it up and we go step by step through every single paragraph so that you understand what it says. And then we record this and we save it onto a site for you where you can always access it later. So say for instance that you need to discipline an employee. We'll train you on your employment contract. We'll train you on a disciplinary code that has been specifically drafted for you, and then you'll put it up on your screen, you'll refresh yourself, and you'll be able to do it yourself. So it's effectively saving you money that you don't need to contact me all the time. And of course, we don't charge within our monthly fee for a certain number of emails and calls, just because it changes that. When you charge 150 Rand for every 6-minute phone call, I'm just giving an example. It really creates a dynamic within a relationship where people they feel anxious to call you. They're going to get a bill every time. And I know why lawyers do this, because you get annoying clients who will call you all the time. So we try to strike a balance, because we want an open conversation policy, because I don't want my clients to get in trouble. I don't want them to make silly decisions because they were afraid to pick up the phone, and just run it by me. And we also review a certain amount of documents within that month free. So if you get a supplier contract, we'll just go through it. So everything that we do is with the entrepreneur in mind. I think it's really important to stop thinking about these different disciplines as separate. We live in an integrated world, and somehow we feel we need to separate our disciplines in order to tackle the problems of the world. But if you don't have an integrated approach, you're not going to be able to fix it. So having worked in a business and human rights department, we see business and human rights as opposing sides of like a matrix. But it really needs to be integrated. And the more people you have like me, who are sneaky insiders, who are getting businesses to do the right thing, the better we are. So from the ground up, I built my business to be a rights and values conscious business. And I want to have social impact. And I want to create conditions that people have dignity and have access to everything that they need, And I want to have my business owners understand the importance of a rights-based culture within their businesses and the reasons for doing the right things, and to show them the business case, which I think is where human rights lawyers often fail. Is that if you want to speak to business, you have to show them the business case. So when I talk about gender mainstreaming, I show them that businesses that have plus 30% women on the board, or any minority actually, are actually more profitable because they make more nuanced decisions with more diverse opinions. We first want to go national, so we want to license the brand and our products to other law firms in South Africa. So within the next 2 years, I'm going to be running around doing roadshows, trying to convince people to buy into this dream of providing affordable legal services. Otherwise, we're never going to be able to reach everyone. I would have to employ all 12,000 attorneys in South Africa. Thereafter, we know that this issue of affordable legal services for small and medium enterprises is something that is not just a South African problem. It's a problem all over the world, and I've traveled quite a bit and I know this. And having been based in Berlin, which has this big startup culture, I know that this is a problem there as well. So after going national, we intend on going international. We've earmarked certain countries that we're interested in. So within the African continent, we're looking at Zambia and Kenya as a first start, although Botswana looks quite attractive too. It's so close to home though. Like I said, move that 25% unemployment to something below 10%. That's the big dream. And while we do it, make sure it's decent employment. So yeah, that's a big dream. So they say the world needs more dreamers that do, and my hope is that we all find ways in which we can use the skills that we have to make real impacts in the world. And our skills happen to be legal skills, the human rights skills, but to move from being just academics and people who churn out paper to finding solutions for real world problems, and to find ways to integrate what we've learned into solving things.